Hi, Matt here. In this video, we're going to show you how to test and replace your GE washer clutch gear. It engages the transmission drive pulley to drive the transmission. If the plastic teeth are worn, you'll hear a grinding noise during the cycle. With over 2 million products in stock and the know-how to help you do it yourself, we are AppliancePartsPros.com. In this video, we're going to use the Ratchet with the extension, a 3/8 and 9/16 inch socket. Remember, safety comes first. Make sure to unplug the washer or shut off the circuit breaker to avoid electrocution. Also, make sure to turn off the hot and cold water supplies. And let's get started. In order to get to it, we need to tilt the machine back. You can put a towel across the top and lean against the wall if you want. We're going to use a box to support ours. Whatever you do, just make sure you tilt it back carefully. We're going to take the cover off. We're going to use a 3/8 inch socket with the ratchet and the extension to take out the bolts. The lower one is on the ground wire, so make sure you get that off. Once you have the bolts out, you can pull the cover out and set it aside. If you notice any white plastic powder in there, it's a good indication that the gears have been grinding and you may have a problem. Now that we have the cover off, we have to take the belt off. We're just going to pull down on the belt and turn it. Just make sure you don't get your finger caught in the pulley. Once you have it off, you can set it aside. Then we're going to use a ratchet with the extension and the 9/16 inch socket to take off the nut that holds the pulley on. Just want to hold it and break it free. Then we're going to pull the pulley down. Sometimes it's on there a little tight, so you may have to rock it back and forth as you pull down. Once you have it off, you can set it aside. Once you have the pulley off, we can inspect the clutch gear. These are the teeth where it engages with the transmission pulley, so you want to make sure those look okay. Also look at the teeth on the inside. Those should be tight and not damaged. Ours are worn out, so we're going to change out the clutch gear. In order to get it off, we have to take the shift actuator off. So we're going to use a 3/8 inch socket with the ratchet and the extension and take out these bolts that hold it on. Once you have the bolts out, you want to hold it up. And we're just going to hold the clutch gear while we slide the shift actuator out. And we're just going to let it hang by the wiring harness. It's not that heavy, it won't damage anything. Then we can pull the clutch gear, the clutch spring, and the spacer off, and set the spring and spacer aside. Here's the old clutch gear next to the new one. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get it at AppliancePartsPros.com. To put the new clutch gear on, we're just going to put the spacer and the clutch spring up onto the transmission shaft. And then we can push the new clutch gear up on there. Make sure it goes onto the splines up there. And then hold it in place. Then we can put the shift actuator back on. There's a couple locating pins. You just have to line up. And then just put the little tabs onto the pulley. Slide it in there. And while you hold it up there, we're going to grab the 3/8 inch socket with the ratchet and the extension again and put the bolts back in. Once you have the shift actuator mounted, you can put the transmission pulley back on. Just going to line it up and push it into place. And then we can use the 9/16 inch socket with the ratchet and the extension to put the bolt on and tighten it down. As it starts to tighten up, you want to grab the pulley and hold on to it so the tub doesn't spin while you tighten up the nut. To put the drive belt on, we're just going to put it around the transmission pulley first and then get it started on the motor pulley and hold it right here. Kind of stretch it around. Don't get your finger caught in there. And you want to push up on the belt right here. It has a tendency not to go up into that upper groove, so you want to make sure it's up there. Once you have it in place, we can put the cover back on. All you have to do is lift it up, line it up, and set it in place. Once you have it in place, we're going to use a 3/8" socket with the ratchet and the extension to put in the bolts. And on the bottom one, you want to make sure it goes through the ground wire. Once you have everything put back together, we can put it back up on its feet. Then we can plug the machine back in, turn the water on, and take it for a spin. Hopefully changing out the clutch gear fixed the shifting problem and stopped any noise you were hearing during the cycle. Remember, if you don't already have the clutch gear, you can take your model number and head over to appliancepartspros.com. Most orders arrive within just a few days. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tell us how your repair went. See you next time.